we connected?
Yeah, David, you want to go ahead?
Okay, David, please.
Yeah, Mike, do you have any determination yet on whether Martin and Irving could miss some games going forward, or is it a little too early to know yet?
No, they're both going to be out multiple weeks. So Cam has an MCL sprain, and Zach has a calf. So the early diagnosis is multiple weeks on both guys.
Thanks. And
you hear me okay on this speakerphone?
Yes. Can you hear us okay?
Yep. Good. Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just coming in and out earlier, but it's a little bit better connection now, I think.
Okay.
Also, a little earlier today on radio, talking about the fourth quarter call, Jerry was talking about there was a sense that the team was teetering a bit when you made the call on the punt. Did you get that sense that the team was teetering at that stage and needed something dramatic to kind of get its feet under them and get them playing the way you wanted them to play?
I think anytime you get into football games, you're always assessing the flow, the variables of when you go for plays of such, and there's also characteristics you're looking for. Obviously the field position, down and distance, because I'm stating the obvious. All play callers, offense, defense, and special teams, when you call a selection, you make a play selection, you're looking for your scheme to be matched up against a certain scheme. So all the information that we were looking for prior to that lined up. I was starting to count starting to project how many series I felt we had left in the game. Obviously our run defense was part of that evaluation. So that's my normal thought process during a game. So and that's why I felt the need and the opportunity I felt would be there for us to make a big play. I think I've shown that right away early in the season. I believe in our players. I think you have to give your players opportunities to make big plays. Especially when the way the flow of the game was going at that point.
You had a wide open receiver on that play. It just from where it looked from our copy. Did Sid not see him? Is that your sense?
I'll be honest with you. I haven't been in any meetings this morning. I've been working on some personal things with obviously the passing of Marcus. So I have not. That my sense was the presence of the. I don't know if that was the guy off the wing, but there was a defender right there at the edge, and I think without talking to Seth, he may felt like he might have had a cut back or didn't have time to get the ball to CJ. I have not even talked to John Fossil or CJ or Seth about the play.
Also, and there's still some concerns, some uncertainty regarding the Steelers-Ravens game on Sunday. Have you had any communication with the league and whether the game on Thursday will still go on as planned?
No, I have nothing to report officially, and I personally have not had any communication about the game moving. I heard the same thing you heard, though. So.
Mike, to the extent that you're comfortable, can you share with us what you were attending to this morning as it relates to Marcus and what comes next in terms of steps for your team, both dealing with this emotionally and any staff changes?
Well, I think for all of us, I mean, it's been emotionally challenging, overwhelming. I don't know what words I can use to describe the feeling because it was. It was something that was just so personal for all of us, especially how it happened, where it happened, and the timing of it all. So we're just trying to make plans to move forward, and I don't have anything to share with you right now in specifics on that. But I do want to say that I am very proud of the team for the way they went out and battled because it was. Frankly, it was emotionally exhausting, I think, for everybody. And our guys, went out there and it was difficult. I mean, there's so many reminders still. Even today, walking in here, anticipated interactions. Anytime we're part of an NFL regular season, we're all working on a time clock. Regularity and scheduling is such a big part of our professional life, and everybody goes into the weight room and so forth. So he's missed greatly, obviously, but I just can't say enough about the team, the way they went out there and competed. And I'll say this, just being truly honest here. I had no idea how we were going to play, and that's a feeling you never have as a coach. You go through weeks of preparation, and you line up, and you usually have a feel for where the matchups and the challenges are going to be, and you try to anticipate them and so forth. But we start the game and had adversity immediately with some injured players, and our guys just kept battling, and they gave it everything they had, and I appreciate that.
Mike, on the note, have you had the chance to talk to Marcus's family since they lost him?
I'm sorry?
Have you had a chance to talk to Marcus's family this week?
Yes, I had a chance to meet Heidi at the hospital, yes.
Mike, with the uncertainty about the Baltimore game, how does that impact how you guys go about getting ready? Do you just plan as normal as you can that you will be playing next Thursday?
That's a great question. Obviously, this process is new for all of us. The players are off today and tomorrow, and frankly, I think it's important for them to be with their family. And if we did move to Sunday, I would anticipate us going into a normal 7-day week, where I would just treat this weekend and probably Monday, Tuesday like a bye week, because I think our team could use that. I'm thinking out loud here, so I have no idea what's going to happen. Yeah.
And of the run defense, did the guys revert back to issues that bugged you guys earlier in the season about gap discipline and staying where they were supposed to be, and maybe trying to do too much at times yesterday?
Yeah, we weren't clean at times. The ball seemed to get to the edge too often. So, and just in fairness of not being able to meet with the coaches this morning, so I don't have the specifics for you.
Mike, it sounds like it's still pretty raw emotionally for you, understandably. Is there concern that part of it might linger as you all try to sort of get back on track in terms of the football part of the world?
I mean, this is life. This is the hard part of life, and we will deal with it, and we'll use whatever resources we need to, because the personal health is always the priority of everybody in our organization. Especially football operations from my leadership position. So, and that's just the way we approach it. I haven't, as a head coach, this is a new experience. So, we went through something similar in San Francisco back in 2005, and Mike Nolan was the head coach. So, I've been, Mike and I have spoke a lot the last couple of days. So, we'll just continue to work through it.
It seemed like you had gotten the offensive line in a place where you really felt like it was, something you could take going forward and build momentum, and then that happens on the first drive. How do you battle the sort of notion of it's just not in the cards this year as you go forward?
Well, I like to think there's a lot of football left, and we all clearly been part of this pattern, and the pattern's been one way, and I'm hopeful and we'll be grateful when it turns the other way. I mean, I don't kind of just throw in the cards. I think you line up and you play every hand to win, and we'll do that against Baltimore. So, it's there's still a lot of football left, but it's just unfortunate. I mean, when I think of injuries, I think more about the individual. I mean, with these men put into into their profession, obviously to train and compete, and in this during this pandemic has been obviously a much bigger challenge than prior seasons. So we will get them lined up and get ready for Baltimore.
Mike, along those lines, how did your two young tackles look to you in that game? Obviously, some tough circumstances to come in so quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the answer was right there at the end of your question. I think it was tough circumstances. I thought they came in and battled. I thought Brandon came in immediately and had some good snaps there too. So I'm anxious to see the tape and see how everybody played. Frankly, just because, like I said, this has been kind of it's been just an emotional morning.
Yeah, as you said, has it been tough for you to even just step away for a minute, because you've had, like you said this early in the year, there's always something on the head coach's plate that you have to take care of. You had a minute to kind of decompress a little bit.
I'll be around family today, so that's my goal is to decompress tonight. But frankly, I've been on the phone all morning. I just can't say enough about the outpour for Marcus and just the people that I've heard from, and just just trying to get back to some of those calls. And but he was obviously a man of significance, and he'll greatly be missed.
Piggybacking a little bit on some prior questions, how do you manage the mental health of your players, your fellow coaches, and other members of the organization? The pandemic, social distancing away from family members is all difficult enough. The holidays are coming, and now obviously with the passing of Marcus, that's a lot for those in your organization to handle at once. How are you managing mental health?
Well, I mean, we're staffed. We have staff that solely focuses on that for our players and coaches and their families. So obviously that everybody's been very diligent here the last 3-4 days, and that's something we'll continue to do. So we're fortunate that our organization puts that as a priority. So but that's really an everyday resource that we have here. But obviously with what we're dealing with right now, they're definitely working in high gear.
Yeah, how do you make sure that players know to take advantage of those resources, and that it's okay to ask for help, it's okay to talk through things?
Well, it really goes back to the first team meeting. I mean, it's something that when you lay out your staff and football operation, and just you're identifying job description and job responsibility, and frankly, I shared a story with our team about I went through a divorce in 1995, and how it was taboo to go talk to somebody, and I was talking to an individual at that time, and anytime the individual came into the office, I wanted to crawl under my desk, and that was just kind of the stigma of it back then. But that doesn't exist, and I know it doesn't in our organization, and I think that when people are open, talk about it, I think it definitely helps others, and probably helps save a lot of others, because it's, like I said, it's part of our football operations.
Mike, what happened with Marcus was obviously so unexpected. How did you learn of it? And again, that time frame there, you had the meeting at 8:05, and you have to make a decision so quickly. Can you talk a little bit about how you learned of the news initially? I mean, what state it sent you in, how you processed information right after that?
Respectfully, I don't want to talk about it. I was there, so so it was, most of us were there. So that's why, like I said earlier, this is so very personal for all of us. Not only just because of how we feel about Marcus, but also how it happened and where it happened and when it happened. So, as far as canceling it, everything was, frankly, to me, was a no-brainer. My instinct was that I wanted everybody with family, or I wanted everybody to be where they felt they needed to be. So that was the decision we made based on everything that was going on at that time.
So I'm sorry. So you were in the weight room and actually were one of the people that witnessed it.
I was there probably 2 or 3 minutes after that.
Anything else?
Yeah, Jory, go ahead. Jory, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a football question, but we can call it a day if we think that's most appropriate.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Belated Happy Thanksgiving.
Take care, Mike.
All right. Thank you.